Acre. An acre is a unit for measuring area. Afterlife. The afterlife is a life that some people believe begins when a person dies. Archaeology. Archaeology is the study of the remains left by ancient societies. Chamber. A chamber is a closed space or room used for a special purpose. Channel. A channel is a long, deep space between two edges. Core. A core is the main or central part of something. Corridor. A corridor is a narrow passage that leads into other areas. Distinct. A distinct thing is different or stands out. Elite. Elite means of or from a high-level group. Engineer. To engineer something is to skillfully plan out how to make that thing. Found. To found something means to start, organize, or establish that thing. Gap. A gap is a space between two things. Glory. Glory is the importance, magnificence, or specialness of something. Interior. An interior is the inside of something. Lion. A lion is a large animal in the cat family. Role. A role is a job, position, or part in something. Royal. Royal means related to a king or queen. Soul. A sole person or thing is the only one. Stairs. Stairs are a set of steps built to go from one level of a building to another. Surface. The surface is the top layer of something. Agreement. An agreement is a formal decision about future action. Arise. To arise is to happen. Benefactor. A benefactor is a person who gives money to help someone. Blacksmith. A blacksmith is a person who makes things out of metal. Chimney. A chimney is a tall pipe used to carry smoke out of a building. Compensate. To compensate is to pay someone for the time they spent doing something. Encounter. To encounter is to find or meet a person or thing. Exceed. To exceed is to be more than something. Forge. To forge is to make or produce, especially humble. People who are humble do not believe that they are better than other people. Iron. Iron is a strong metal that is used to make many objects. Ladder. A ladder is an object that is used to climb up and down things. Modest. If people are modest, they do not think that they are too important. Occupy. To occupy a place is to live, work, or be there. Penny. A penny is a coin worth 1 cent. Preach. To preach is to talk about and promote a religious idea. Prosper. To prosper is to be successful or make a lot of money. Province. A province is an area that is controlled by a country. Satisfaction. Satisfaction is the feeling of having done or received something good. Sustain. To sustain something is to keep it going. Acquire. To acquire something is to get or gain possession of that thing. Awkward. An awkward thing is embarrassing and uncomfortable. Caretaker. A caretaker is a person who takes care of very young, old, or sick people. Deceive. To deceive is to make someone believe something that is not true. Discourage. To discourage is to make someone feel less excited about something. Fake. A fake thing is made to look real in order to trick people. Hatred. Hatred is a strong feeling of not liking someone or something. Hut. A hut is a house made of wood, grass, or mud that has only 1 or 2 rooms. Inferior. An inferior thing is not as good as something else. Lodge. A lodge is a house in the mountains used by people who hunt or fish. Neglect. To neglect someone or something is to not take care of it properly. Newcomer. A newcomer is a person who has recently arrived at a place or a group. Offense. An offense is behavior that is wrong or breaks a law. Overlook. To overlook something is to not notice it or to not realize that it is important. Repay. To repay is to pay back or to reward someone or something. Ridiculous. A ridiculous thing is silly or strange. Satisfactory. A satisfactory thing is good enough. Shepherd. A shepherd is a person who protects and cares for sheep. Venture. To venture is to go to a place that may be dangerous. Wheat. Wheat is a plant from which we get the grain used to make bread. Alley. An alley is a narrow road between houses or buildings. Axe. An axe is a tool used to cut wood. Bunch. A bunch is a group of the same things. Chore. A chore is an decent. Chore. A chore is an unpleasant job that must be done. Decent. A decent person or thing is okay, or good enough. Disgraceful. Disgraceful behavior is behavior that is very bad. Elbow. The elbow is the middle part of an arm, where grateful. A grateful person feels thankful about something. Irritate. To irritate means to annoy someone. Kid. To kid is to say something that is not true as a joke. Loose. A loose thing is not held in place tightly. Offend. To offend is to make someone angry or upset. Overnight. An overnight action happens during the night. Persist. To persist means to keep doing something even when it is hard. Pine. A pine is a type of tall, thin tree with needles instead of leaves. Scar. A scar is a mark on the skin after a wound heals. Sensation. A sensation is a feeling that people get from their senses. Sled. A sled is a small vehicle used on snow. Tease. To tease means to laugh at or make fun of someone. Valentine. A valentine is someone loved or admired with great affection. Acquaint. To acquaint is to get to know something or someone. Cemetery. A cemetery is a place where people are buried when they die. Creature. A creature is an animal or person. Curse. To curse someone is to hope that bad things happen to that person. Disguise. A disguise is something you wear so people cannot tell who you are. Fancy. A fancy thing is nicer or more detailed than normal. Flashlight. A flashlight is a small electric light that people carry in their hands. Hood. A hood is part of a coat that goes over a inhabitant. An inhabitant is a person who lives in a certain place. Nourish. To nourish is to give someone or something the food needed to live. Pirate. A pirate is a sailor who steals things from other boats. Publication. A publication is something printed, like a newspaper or book. Riddle. A riddle is a question that is difficult to answer, but meant to be funny. Rot. To rot is to slowly get softer and become destroyed. Shortly. An action that happens shortly happens very soon. Skeleton. A skeleton is all the bones of a body. Spoil. To spoil is to rot or to make bad. Starve. To starve is to not get enough food for a long period of time. Thrill. A thrill is an exciting feeling. Wicked. A wicked person is very bad or evil. Alert. To alert someone is to tell or warn that person about something. Broadcast. A broadcast is a television or radio show. Bulletin. A bulletin is a news report about very recent and important events. Bump. A bump is a small raised area on a surface. Chop. To chop something means to cut it into pieces with a tool. Closet. A closet is a small room used to store things. Console. To console is to give comfort to a person who feels sad. District. A district is a small part of a city, county, state, or country. Drawer. A drawer is a small part in furniture that is used to store things. Endure. To endure means to experience and survive something difficult. Execute. To execute means to kill someone as a legal punishment. Grasp. To grasp something means to hold it. Rear. The rear of something is the back part of that thing. Senator. A senator is someone who makes laws for a state. Skull. A skull is the hard head bone that protects the brain. Stir. To stir something means to mix it using something small, like tap. To tap something is to hit it lightly. Tremendous. A tremendous thing is very large or very good. Underneath. Underneath means below or under. Worm. A worm is a small animal with a long, thin body. Abandon. To abandon something is to leave it forever or for. Ambitious. An ambitious person wants to be rich or successful. Bark. To bark is to make a short, loud noise. Bay. A bay is an area near the ocean where the land goes inward. Brilliant. A brilliant person is very bright or smart. Chin. A chin is the hard part at the bottom of a person's face. Complaint. A complaint is an expression of unhappiness about something. Deaf. A deaf person or animal cannot hear. Enthusiastic. An enthusiastic person is excited by or interested in something. Expedition. An expedition is a long trip, usually to a place very far away. Horizon. The horizon is where the sky looks like it meets the ground. Loyal. Loyal people always help or support a certain person or thing. Mayor. The mayor is the person in charge of a city. Mutual. A mutual thing is felt in the same way by two or more people. Overweight. Overweight people or animals are heavier than is healthy. Refuge. A refuge is a place of safety. Restore. To restore something is to put it back the way it was. Rub. To rub something is to push on it and move your hand back and forth. Senses. The senses are how living things experience the world. Veterinarian. A veterinarian is a doctor who takes care of animals. Anniversary. An anniversary is a day that celebrates something from the past. Arithmetic. Arithmetic is math. Ashamed. Ashamed means feeling upset and embarrassed because of a bad action. Burst. To burst is to suddenly break open or apart. Carpenter. A carpenter is a person who builds things with wood. Coal. Coal is a hard black material that people burn for heat. Couch. A couch is a long, soft seat that many people can sit on. Drip. To drip is to fall a little bit at a time. Elegant. Something elegant is very fancy and pleasing. Fabric. Fabric is cloth used to make clothes, furniture, etc. Highlands. Highlands are high areas of land, usually ivory. Ivory is a hard white substance that comes from elephants. Mill. A mill is a building in which wheat is ground into flour. Needle. A needle is a small, sharp piece of metal used to make or fix clothes. Polish. To polish something is to rub it in order to make it shiny. Sew. To sew means to put pieces of cloth together using string or thread. Shed. A shed is a small building in which people store things like tools. Thread. A thread is a thin piece of string. Trim. To trim something is to cut it a little bit. Upwards. An upwards action moves vertically towards the direction above. Ally. An ally is someone who agrees to help or support another person or group. Boast. To boast is to talk about how great one is. Bounce. To bounce is to move up and away from a surface after hitting it. Bully. A bully is a person who is mean to others. Carbohydrate. Carbohydrates are substances in foods like bread that give energy. Crawl. To crawl is to move slowly on hands and knees. Defeat. To defeat someone is to beat that person in a game or battle. Dial. A dial is a circular tool, like the front of a clock. Dominant. A dominant person or thing is stronger than others. Entire. Entire means the whole thing or group. Mercy. Mercy is a feeling or act of kindness. Nod. To nod is to move your head up and down. Opponent. An opponent is a person or group trying to defeat another person or group. Quarrel. To quarrel is to argue or fight. Rival. A rival is someone trying to achieve the same thing as another. Sore. Sore means feeling or causing pain. Sting. To sting is to cause pain by pushing a sharp part into the skin. Strain. To strain is to try very hard. Torture. Torture is action that causes physical or mental pain. Wrestle. To wrestle is to try to push another competitor to the floor. Absence. Absence is the state of something being away. Aloud. An action done aloud is done so that people can hear it. Bald. A bald person or animal has no hair. Blanket. A blanket is a piece of cloth that people use to keep warm or to sit upon. Creep. To creep is to move quietly and slowly. Divorce. Divorce is the process of ending a marriage. Imitate. To imitate someone or something is to act in the exact same way. Infant. An infant is a baby. Kidnap. To kidnap someone is to take that person illegally. Nap. A nap is a short sleep, usually nowhere. Nowhere means no place or not existing. Pat. To pat something is to hit it softly with your hand. Relief. Relief is a good feeling after something bad or challenging ends. Reproduce. To reproduce is to make something exactly how someone else did it. Rhyme. A rhyme is writing or speech that has words with the same ending sounds. Suck. To suck is to put something in your mouth and try to get something out of it. Urgent. An urgent thing is important and needs to be done now. Vanish. To vanish is to go away suddenly. Wagon. A wagon is a cart used to carry heavy things. Wrinkle. A wrinkle is a line on a person's face that appears as they get old. Architecture. Architecture is the design and form of a building. Basket. A basket is a container made of woven materials that is used to carry things. Bloom. To bloom is to produce an open flower. Canoe. A canoe is a long, light boat with pointed ends. Carpet. A carpet is a thick, heavy, woven fabric used to cover the floor. Cousin. A cousin is the child of one's aunt and uncle. Desk. A desk is a piece of furniture that people sit at to do work. Gallery. A gallery is a large space where people can see works of art. Guest. A guest is someone who is invited to an event, occasion, or location. Host. A host is someone who invites a guest someplace. July. The seventh month of the year. Modern. A modern thing belongs to the current time. Museum. A museum is a building that displays cultural, social, and scientific objects. Pink. Pink is a pale shade of red. Plane. A plane is a vehicle that has an engine and wings and flies in the air. Refrigerator. A refrigerator is a large electrical machine used. Temperature. A temperature is a measure of how hot or cold something is. Theater. A theater is a place where people can watch movies or live shows. Upper. An upper position is a higher position. Welcome. To welcome is to greet someone or something with pleasure. Anticipate. To anticipate something is to think that it will happen. Barrel. A barrel is a round thing that you can keep liquids in. Beam. A beam is a heavy bar. Casual. A casual thing is relaxed or simple. Caution. Caution is care and attention in order to avoid danger. Contrary. A contrary thing is the opposite to another thing. Deliberate. A deliberate action is one done on purpose, not by. Dissolve. To dissolve something is to mix it into a liquid until it disappears. Explode. To explode is to suddenly move apart in many smaller pieces. Fasten. To fasten something is to close it or attach it to something. Germ. A germ is a very small living thing that can make people sick. Kit. A kit is a set of all the things needed to do something. Puff. A puff is a little bit of smoke or steam. Rag. A rag is a small towel. Scatter. To scatter something is to make it go in many places. Scent. A scent is a smell. Steel. Steel is a strong gray metal. Swift. A swift person or animal is fast. Toss. To toss something is to throw it softly. Triumph. Triumph is the act or feeling of winning. Aboard. Someone aboard a ship or plane is in or on it. Bitter. A bitter person feels upset or angry about something. Bullet. A bullet is a small metal object that is shot out of a gun. Devil. The devil is a powerful evil spirit in some. Drift. To drift means to be moved slowly by wind or water. Enforce. To enforce means to make a person follow a rule. Fountain. A fountain is a source of water made by people. Harbor. A harbor is an area of water along a shore where boats land. Inhabit. To inhabit means to live in a certain place. March. To march means to walk at a steady pace together with others. Millionaire. A millionaire is a person who has at least $1 million. Port. A port is a place where ships stop to load and unload things. Sheriff. A sheriff is a police officer who is in charge of a large area. Startle. To startle means to scare someone suddenly. Sweat. To sweat means to lose liquid from the body through the skin. Trigger. A trigger is the part of a gun that a person pulls to make it fire. Unify. To unify means to bring people or things together. Vessel. A vessel is a large ship or boat. Voyage. A voyage is a long journey made on a boat or an aircraft. Worship. To worship means to like and honor a person, thing, or religious figure. Apprentice. An apprentice is a person who learns how to do a job from a skilled person. Assure. To assure people is to tell them something is true to make them less worried. Bandage. A bandage is a piece of cloth used to stop bleeding. Bleed. To bleed is to lose blood. Bond. To bond with someone is to become friends with that person. Chef. A chef is a person who cooks in a restaurant. Crown. A crown is the hat worn by a king or queen. Departure. A departure is the act of leaving a place. Diligent. A diligent person works hard and is careful. Emperor. An emperor is the leader of a group of countries. Fiber. A fiber is a thread of a substance used to make clothes or rope. Horrible. A horrible thing is very bad. Impolite. An impolite person is rude or not polite. Kneel. To kneel is to put one or both knees on the ground. Luxury. A luxury is an expensive thing that is nice but not needed. Massive. A massive thing is very big. Panic. To panic is to feel so nervous or afraid that one cannot think clearly. Priority. A priority is something that is more important than other things. Robe. A robe is a long, loose piece of clothing. Scold. To scold means to criticize someone angrily for doing something wrong. Affair. An affair is an event or a thing that happened. Assembly. An assembly is a group gathered together for the same reason. Bless. To bless is to ask God for protection or help. Cereal. Cereal is a breakfast food made from grains that is eaten with milk. Cheerful. A cheerful person is happy and pleasant. Diameter. The diameter of a round thing is the length across its center. Exploit. To exploit something is to use it for greedy reasons rather than good reasons. Famine. A famine is a long time with little or no food. Harvest. A harvest is the act of collecting food from farming. Merry. A merry person is happy and pleasant. Nut. A nut is a hard seed or fruit that comes from some trees and bushes. Pardon. To pardon is to not be angry at someone for asking a question or for making a mistake. Pharaoh. A pharaoh was a king in ancient Egypt. Ripe. A ripe fruit or vegetable is ready to be eaten. Roast. To roast something is to cook it in an oven or over a fire. Routine. A routine is a way of doing things that is the same every time. Scheme. A scheme is a plan or design. Slim. A slim person or thing is thin, not stove. A stove is a device used to cook food. Theft. A theft is a criminal act that involves someone stealing something. Adolescent. An adolescent is a young person or a teenager. Aptitude. Aptitude. Aptitude is a natural ability or skill. Compliment. To compliment is to say a nice thing about someone or something. Hinder. To hinder is to stop someone or something from doing something. Journalism. Journalism is the work of collecting the news to put in newspapers or on TV. Jury. A jury is a group of people that listen to a trial and say if someone is guilty. Justice. Justice is fairness in the way that people are treated. Liberty. Liberty is freedom to do what one wants. Literary. A literary person or thing is involved with literature in some way. Pharmacy. A pharmacy is a place where medicine is sold. Pill. A pill is a small object that has medicine inside. Presume. To presume is to believe something is true without being certain. Privacy. Privacy is the state of being happily away from other people. Punishment. A punishment is something that one must endure for any wrongdoing. Sensible. A sensible person or thing is good and smart. Slice. A slice is a piece from something larger, such as sorrow. Sorrow is a very sad feeling. Straw. A straw is a thin tube that is used to suck liquid into the mouth. Swell. To swell is to become larger and rounder. Tidy. A tidy place or person is clean and in order. Affection. Affection is a feeling of liking someone or something. Agency. An agency is a business or service set up to act for others. Ash. Ash is the gray or black powder created when something is burned. Confine. To confine something is to keep it in one place. Dismiss. To dismiss something is to erupt. Dismiss. To dismiss something is to say it is not important. Erupt. To erupt is to explode or blow apart, as fate. Fate is a power that causes things to happen. Lava. Lava is the hot substance made of melted rock that comes out of volcanoes. Miserable. A miserable person is very unhappy. Navigate. To navigate something is to control the way it moves or goes. Originate. To originate somewhere is to start there. Remainder. The remainder of something is what is left. Retrieve. To retrieve something is to find it and get it back. Shallow. A shallow thing is not deep. Slope. A slope is ground that is not flat. Span. To span is to spread across an amount of time or space. Superstition. A superstition is something magical that people believe is real. Sympathy. Sympathy is a feeling of sadness for another person who feels bad. Vibrate. To vibrate is to shake very hard. Wander. To wander is to walk without going to a certain place. Armor. Armor is metal worn by soldiers to protect the body. Blaze. To blaze means to burn brightly or powerfully. Boom. To boom means to make a loud, deep sound. Cliff. A cliff is a high and often flat wall of rock. Flame. A flame is part of a fire. Independence. Independence is the state of being free from the control of others. Invasion. An invasion is an attack by a group from another country. Knight. A knight is a soldier of high rank and skill who usually serves a king. Lightning. Lightning is the bright light seen during a storm. Rebel. A rebel is a person who fights the government in order to change it. Retreat. To retreat means to run away because of losing a fight. Revolution. A revolution is a change to the political system by a group of people. Spear. A spear is a long stick with a blade on one end that is used as a weapon. Steep. A steep surface or place has a slope or angle that rises or falls sharply. Summit. A summit is the highest part of a hill or mountain. Thunder. Thunder is the loud noise heard during a storm. Troops. Troops are soldiers that fight in groups in a battle. Warrior. A warrior is a brave soldier or fighter. Withdraw. To withdraw means to leave a place, usually during war. Yield. To yield something means to give up control of it or to give it away. Bench. A bench is a long seat for 2 or more people. Daisy. A daisy is a small flower with white petals and a yellow center. Dispute. A dispute is an argument or disagreement that people have. Empty. An empty container is one that has no things in it. Horror. Horror is a feeling of being very afraid or shocked. Incident. An incident is an event that is usually not pleasant. Mist. Mist is water that can be seen in the air or on a surface. Object. An object is a non-living thing that you can see or touch. Orphan. An orphan is a child who does not have parents. Plot. To plot is to make a secret plan to do something that is wrong or mean. Pregnant. A pregnant woman or animal is going to have a baby. Rage. Rage is a very angry feeling. Revenge. Revenge is the act of hurting someone who has hurt you. Shame. Shame is a bad feeling about things one has done wrong. Sigh. To sigh is to breathe out loudly to show tiredness, boredom, or sadness. Sneak. To sneak is to move quietly in order not to be seen or heard. Spare. To spare something is to give it away because it is not needed. Stem. The stem of a plant is the stick that grows leaves or flowers. Supper. Supper is a meal that is eaten in the evening. Tender. A tender food is soft and easy to chew. Beneath. Beneath means under or lower than. Cub. A cub is a baby animal, such as a bear or lion. Dawn. Dawn is the time of day when the sun rises. Dissatisfied. Dissatisfied means not happy with something. Ease. Ease is a condition without difficulty or hard work. Evident. Evident means easy to see or understand. Hail. Hail is ice that falls from the sky when rain freezes. Howl. To howl means to make a long, loud sound. Leap. To leap means to jump a long distance. Magnificent. Magnificent means beautiful and grand. Necessity. A necessity is something that is needed. Outcome. An outcome is the end result of an action or event. Pile. A pile is a large group of things on top of one another. Profound. Profound means deep or very intelligent. Seize. To seize something means to grab it quickly or strongly. Squeeze. To squeeze something means to press it together and hold it tightly. Supreme. Supreme means of the highest level or best quality. Terrific. Something terrific is very good. Trait. A trait is part of someone's personality. Vital. Something vital is necessary for life. Attack. To attack something is to hurt or damage it. Breast. A breast is one of the two soft parts on a woman's chest. Cancer. Cancer is a serious disease that causes cells to grow abnormally. Cancerous. Cancerous cells are the result of cancer. Cell. A cell is the smallest part of a living thing that can live by itself. Cigarette. A cigarette is a thinly wrapped paper tube filled with tobacco that is smoked. Code. A code is a set of symbols used to hide or read a message. Cure. A cure is a medical treatment to make a sickness go away. Destruction. To damage something is to cause its destruction. DNA. DNA is the short form of deoxyribonucleic acid. Extensive. Extensive means large in size or amount. Female. Female refers to women or girls. Furthermore. Furthermore means more information will be added. Gene. A gene controls what it looks like, how an organism grows, and how it develops. Inherit. To inherit is to receive something that is passed down from a relative. Link. A link is a connection to something else. Male. Male refers to men or boys. Population. A population is all the people living in an area. Result. A result happens because of something else. Sugar. Sugar comes from plants and is used to make food taste sweet. Accommodate. To accommodate is to have enough room. Circus. A circus is a traveling show with animals and people. Coincide. To coincide means to happen at the same time. Commission. To commission someone is to pay. Dose. Commission. To commission someone is to pay that person to do some job. Dose. A dose is a certain amount of medicine taken at one time. Dye. To dye something is to make it a certain color by using a special chemical. Extent. The extent of something is how large, important, or serious it is. Gender. Gender is a category that describes being either a boy or a girl. Headline. A headline is the title of a newspaper story. Informal. An informal thing is casual and relaxed. Inquire. To inquire about something is to ask about it. Messenger. A messenger is one who carries information from one place to another. Peer. To peer at something is to watch it carefully. Portrait. A portrait is a painting or photograph of someone. Pose. To pose is to stay in one place without moving. Ranch. A ranch is a large farm where animals are kept. Steer. To steer something is to control where it goes. Stripe. A stripe is a thick line. Tame. A tame animal is not afraid to be near people. Tempt. To tempt people is to offer them something they want but shouldn't have. Ban. To ban something is to not let people do it. Cautious. A cautious person is careful to avoid danger. Confess. To confess is to admit a bad or embarrassing truth. Cottage. A cottage is a small old house in the countryside. Daytime. Daytime is the time of the day when the sky is light. Desperate. A desperate person will try anything to do or change something. Exhausting. An exhausting activity is very tiring. Fade. To fade is to become quieter or less bright. Fierce. A fierce person or animal is angry or violent. Gamble. To gamble means to play a game that involves winning or losing money. Lawn. A lawn is an area covered in grass. Mow. To mow grass is to cut it to make it short. Outlaw. An outlaw is a criminal who hides from the police. Prospect. A prospect is a possibility that something will happen. Purse. A purse is a bag in which women keep money, makeup, keys, etc. Rod. A rod is a thin stick made of wood or metal. Seldom. Seldom shows that an action doesn't happen very often. Shave. To shave means to cut the hairs on one's face with a sharp tool. Terrified. A terrified person or animal is extremely scared. Wizard. A wizard is a man who can do magic. Abroad. An action done abroad is done in a different country. Airline. An airline is a company that takes people to different places. Audience. An audience is a group of people who gather to watch someone do something. Bargain. A bargain is a very good price paid for a product. Brief. A brief action lasts a short time. Currency. The currency of a country is the data. Data is a collection of information and facts. Domestic. Domestic refers to something that happens within a particular country. Draft. A draft is a piece of written work that is not in its final form. Gather. To gather is to form a group or bring together. Hobby. A hobby is a fun and creative activity people do in their free time. Income. An income is the money you earned from work. Jet. A jet is a fast plane with a big engine. Maximum. Maximum is the highest amount of anything allowed. Official. An official thing is approved by someone in authority. Recommend. To recommend means to give advice based on experience. Refer. To refer to something means to mention or call attention to it. Remote. A remote place is distant or far away. Sleepless. Sleepless describes a time period in which someone does not sleep. Volume. The volume is the total amount of something. Circulate. To circulate is to spread something around. Consequent. Consequent means happening because of a different situation. Derive. To derive means to come or originate from a thing or place. Drown. To drown is to die from not being able to breathe underwater. Dynasty. A dynasty is a series of rulers who are all from the same family. Fraction. A fraction is a small part of something. Frost. Frost is a white layer of ice that forms during very cold weather. Illusion. An illusion is something that looks real but doesn't actually exist. Invade. To invade is to take over a place by force. Lieutenant. A lieutenant is a rank in the military or police, or marine. Marine describes something related to the sea. Merit. A merit is a positive or good quality. Navy. A navy is the part of a country's military that fights at sea. Polar. Polar relates to the cold places on Earth's north and south ends. Ray. A ray is a line of light that comes from a bright object. Resign. To resign means to quit a job. Suicide. Suicide is the act of killing oneself. Tremble. To tremble is to shake as a result of excitement or cold weather. Underlying. An underlying thing is a hidden cause or reason. Via. Via introduces a route or means of travel. Alter. To alter something means to change it. Aside. An action done aside is done toward the side of something or some place. Autumn. Autumn is the season of the year between summer and winter. Blend. To blend is to mix two or more things together so that they become one thing. Collapse. To collapse is to fall down suddenly. Crush. To crush something is to press it together so its shape is destroyed. Curve. To curve is to move in a line that bends and does not go straight. Disgusting. A disgusting thing is very unpleasant. Drain. A drain is a pipe that carries away water from a building, such as embrace. To embrace is to hug. Envy. To envy someone is to wish that you had something that other person has. Fireworks. Fireworks are objects that create colored lights when they are lit. Flour. Flour is a powder made from plants that is used to make foods, like fuse. A fuse is a string on fireworks that burns to make them explode. Ginger. Ginger is a root of a plant that is used to make food spicy and sweet. Jealous. A jealous person might take something from you. Paste. A paste is a thick and smooth substance. Receipt. A receipt is a paper that proves that something was received or bought. Wipe. To wipe something is to slide a piece of cloth over it to clean it. Wire. A wire is a thin string made out of metal. Acknowledge. To acknowledge something is to accept that it is true, or ambassador. An ambassador is a government worker who works in another country. Blonde. A blonde is a person with light-colored hair. Conquer. To conquer a place means to attack and take control of it. Drag. To drag something means to pull it across the ground. Exaggerate. To exaggerate is to say that something is bigger or better than it really is. Heritage. Heritage is the collection of features of a society. Insult. To insult someone is to say things that will hurt the person's feelings. Meanwhile. An action that happens meanwhile happens at the same time as another action. Necklace. A necklace is a piece of jewelry that people wear around their necks. Noble. A noble is a rich and powerful person. Precious. A precious thing is valuable and important. Prejudice. A prejudice is an unfair opinion about people based on the group they belong to. Rumor. A rumor is a story that may not be true. Sin. A sin is something that is wrong for religious reasons. Spectacle. A spectacle is an amazing sight. Stack. A stack is a pile of different things. Suspicious. A suspicious person does not trust others. Tin. Tin is an inexpensive metal. Vase. A vase is an attractive container in which people keep flowers. Ache. To ache is to hurt or cause pain. Arctic. Arctic shows that something is of or from the cold, far north part of the earth. Canal. A canal is a path for water to travel through. Chemist. A chemist is a scientist who works with chemicals. Chill. A chill is a feeling of cold. Congress. Congress is a group of leaders in a government. Dairy. Dairy shows that something is made from milk. Descend. To descend is to go downward. Grocer. A grocer is a person who sells food. Hesitate. To hesitate is to wait for a short time before doing something. Institution. An institution is an organization that works to help a city or group of people. Jog. To jog is to run slowly. Merchant. A merchant is a person who sells things. Poke. To poke something is to push something quickly with your finger or a pointed object. Postpone. To postpone something is to make it happen later than planned. Splash. To splash is to crash into something so that liquid spreads out. Stubborn. Stubborn people don't change their minds easily. Suburb. A suburb is a small part of a large city. Tide. The tide is the level of the water in the sea. Tragedy. A tragedy is a very sad event. Bomb. A bomb is an object that explodes and destroys large areas. Certificate. A certificate is a document that says that something is true or happened. Circumstance. A circumstance is an event that makes a situation what it is. Coffin. A coffin is a box used to bury dead people. Cope. To cope with a difficult or stressful situation means to deal with it. Criticism. Criticism is the act of saying that something is not correct or good. Devastate. To devastate something is to cause great damage or pain to that thing. Frown. To frown is to make an unhappy look with one's face. Gaze. To gaze at something means to look at it for a long time. Glance. To glance at something means to look at it quickly. Grief. Grief is the feeling of deep sadness, usually. Groom. A groom is a man who is going to be married. License. A license is an official document that gives one permission to do something. Microscope. A microscope is a device that makes small objects look bigger. Nuclear. A nuclear thing relates to the division or joining of atoms. Portray. To portray something means to describe it or show it in a picture. Rotate. To rotate something means to turn it around in a circle. Souvenir. A souvenir is something bought to remember of a place or event. Submarine. A submarine is a boat that can go underwater for long periods of time. Trace. To trace something means to follow over it with the eyes or a finger. Coastline. A coastline is the outline of a country's coast. Deter. To deter means to prevent or discourage someone from doing something. Devise. To devise something means to come up with an idea or plan about it. Distance. A distance is how far it is between 2 points. Expertise. Expertise is the knowledge and skills to do something well. Fracture. A fracture is a crack or break in something. Headache. Headache is a pain in one's head. Implement. To implement something means to ensure that what has been planned is done. Insight. Insight is a deep and accurate understanding of something. Limb. A limb is a large branch on a tree. Might. Might means strength or power. Optimism. Optimism is the state of being hopeful about the future. Proficient. Proficient means able to do something well. Raft. A raft is a flat kind of boat. Ridge. A ridge is a long, narrow piece of raised land. Shoulder. A shoulder is the body part between the top of the arm and the neck. Shove. To shove something is to push it with a lot of power. Spouse. A spouse is the person to whom someone is married. Thrust. To thrust means to push or move something quickly with a lot of force. Tolerate. To tolerate something means to be able to accept it, even when it is unpleasant. Accountable. When someone is accountable, he or she is responsible for the effects of his or her actions. Addictive.